Hey, welcome to Geek Speak 20.
I'm Rob.
I'm Trace. All right, what you want to talk about, brother?
I hate subtitles.
Yeah.
So, okay, and let me know if there's anybody out there. Am I the only one? There's a movie I'm wanting to see, and it's called The Monkey King.
Yeah,
Have you
sounds
seen
like
it advertised?
yeah, I know about the Monkey King legend. It's like a Chinese
Okay.
legend.
So,
There's like a dude that looks like a monkey and he carries his staff.
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's mythology or something.
Yeah,
Right?
but so I watched the trailer, and it's all subtitles, and everything moves so fast, and I really want to take in everything. There's so much good special effects and makeup and everything, and I can either read down here or I can watch up there, and I can't do both. Maybe it's just me. Odds are it is just me. But if there's anybody out there, please let me know. No, Robert, you're not the only crazy son of a buck out there that can't read faster than.
Well, no, I mean, I think there's probably a large portion of people that don't like subtitles for that very reason. I mean, for me, I have the ability to glance down and read it and look up. And lots of times when action is going on, oftentimes there's not a lot of dialogue going on.
Right.
And so, you can just focus on the action. But I'm a big fan of those Lone Wolf and Cub movies and a lot of old Chinese kung fu movies. And I prefer the subtitles because you're getting to hear an actual voice versus a dubbed voice. It's kind of like if you go out on a date with a girl and she's wearing something low cut. You're trying to look in her eyes, but then you're glancing down to cleavage too, and you're just constantly.
Yeah, but you can't look at both at the same time.
No.
That's my point.
It's tough, yeah. So you got to like look up here for a while and then look down here for a while. Yeah, okay. So we had a request from one of our subscribers, Kathy Shorlucky, I believe is how you say it, to watch the movie Interstellar and talk about it. And I had seen it years ago and had pretty much forgotten the gist of it. So I rewatched it just for you, Kathy. And it's got Matthew McConaughey in it. And it's without ruining it for anybody, it's like the world's being destroyed because of climate. And so they're trying to find another place for humankind. So they send out astronauts through a black hole. And
is that where that meme comes from? It shows him sitting there
crying. Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, it was kind of a movie based in science fact. A lot of things are science fiction. You got Star Trek that are, you got aliens and beaming down to the planet, and you got Star Wars with your space wizards and your lightsabers and stuff. But a lot of things like The Expanse, which if you haven't seen that, Kathy, I recommend it. I think you would like it. It's a series on Amazon. And or Interstellar is really science fact, just stretched just a little bit to make it science fiction. But what I liked about the movie is it was you had the main plot going on, but there was really the portion I liked was the relationship between the father and the daughter. And you have daughters.
Which one was the A story? Which one was the B story?
I'd say they were side by side. I don't think they put precedent of one over another. But there's a special bond between fathers and daughters, and so they played on that, and they did it in a good way. So kind of tugged at your heartstrings a little bit. But Matthew McConaughey, I've always been a fan of his, and they did a real good job. Now it's a long movie; it's almost 3 hours long.
Oh.
And but it's worth watching, and it was worth rewatching. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll probably give it 8. Probably give it an 8.
Okay.
So what else you want to talk about?
I have totally missed all of season 6 of Rick and Morty, and season 7.
I saw it. I saw season 6.
Okay. So season 7 is starting all new voice actors, a lot of new stuff, and so I want you all to tell me. Because, whenever there's change is a double-bladed sword. You do something for good, but then there's always something negative that always happens as well. So you all let us know in the comments, is season 7, did it hold up? Because by the time this airs, 2 or 3 episodes will air.
Yeah, I've heard it's been a steep decline. You know, they got rid of Justin Rowland.
Well, how can you hear that? It means the first episode just aired.
Because I get on the internet and I hear people talk about the first episode. You know, so I mean, you know, but I mean, everybody's got opinions. We're giving ours on the internet as well. But, you know, they got rid of Justin Rowland because he was guilty until proven innocent. And he was proven innocent, but by that time they'd done Candy.
Right.
And so now there's animosity between Justin Rowland and Adult Swim. Is that who makes that? And so they're trying to move on without him. Well, they're not going to be able to. It's going to, you know.
No, they could.
Well, you can move on without him
Because he was the voice
But
actor.
There's going to be equality there.
Because the main creator is still there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just asking them. I'm not wanting to get into a deep debate. Just you all tell me in the comments, did it hold up or not?
Yeah. Well, season 6 was okay. I like season 6.
Okay.
And not that you asked, but I just went ahead and told you anyway.
I'm asking.
So George R.R. Martin.
Yeah.
So he's got a lawsuit against somebody who wrote a prequel to Game of Thrones called Dire Wolves something or another, but the beginning of the Dire Wolves or something. But what they did was they put in all the George R.R. Martin Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire books into that chat GDP or whatever you call it, into artificial intelligence.
Oh yeah, the AI.
And told it to write a prequel, and so it did, and they released it online. And so he's actually suing them because even though they did it for nonprofit, he's saying you can't do that because they are, you know, he owns them. But if you do it and you don't make profit off of it, he really doesn't have a leg to stand on. Now, here's the thing. George is never going to finish those books. He's 70-some years old. And don't get me wrong. I mean, he goes to work like you go to work.
Right.
And he goes to work like I went to work. It's a means to an end. He goes to work like you guys go to work. And if I hit the lottery or you hit the lottery or they hit the lottery, there's a real good chance, really, really good chance they're not going to go to work. So George made a living writing books.
Right.
And he made a mediocre living. He was able to pay bills. He had a little bit of fame. And then when the HBO show blew up and they started doing live action adaptations of his books, suddenly the old man come into more money than he could ever imagine. So basically, he hit the lottery. And we've got a Game of Thrones video, which I recommend you watching, but he's like anybody else would be. He's like, okay, I'm done. And everybody's waiting for him to come out with this new book, but he's not going to come out with it because he has skill writing. And writing was his job, and that job was a means to an end. He's at the end of his life with more money than he can ever spend, and he's too busy partying and having such a good time.
Maybe he just I don't know, but maybe he's just come to the end of that story for himself. You know, there's only so much. Maybe in his mind, that was the end. He wrote those books, and
He said there's 2 more books in the series, and he says he's working on the next book and has been for over 10 years. 10 years. But the thing is that no, he has no intention of finishing that. He knows he's going to die, and he's pushing the publisher off, and he's pushing the public off. And he doesn't want any ridicule. Because he should just make a press statement, just come out and say, hey guys, I've got more money than I ever thought I'd have, and there's no way in heck I'm doing sitting in front of a typewriter, because he doesn't even do it on a computer. Sit there and bang out more story. That's not how I'm going to finish the last of my days.
What do you think his why do you think he's suing them then? If he doesn't care, he's made his money. They're not making any money. What do you think he's suing?
I think the whole artificial intelligence and writing scripts and stuff like that, people are scared of it. And I think it's a popular subject right now. And he is kind of a whore for the limelight. And so I think he wants to kind of keep his name out there. I'm not releasing books. I can't get any attention that way. So maybe I'll sue this schmuck who plugged my books into an AI and wrote his own book. So anyway, what else you got, brother?
Let's see. got a couple things, but I don't know which one I want to whip out first. So let's say, so so this won't air until November, right?
Yes, that is true.
And November's your birthday.
Yes.
And I always do, today in history, but it's always like 2 or 3 weeks ago when we record these things. So we're going to do November 13th in history. So you actually share birthday. Your birthday is actually on the same day as Whoopi Goldberg's.
And
who? Go ahead.
Go ahead, you got more?
Oh, that was the day Fantasia was released in theaters.
And
it was the day that Bram Stoker's Dracula was released.
Oh man, it was a good day.
That was a damn good day.
That was also the same year Star Trek come out.
Okay.
And November, my birthday is the exact same day as our little brother. He was born on my birthday.
Friday the 13th.
That's right.
You're both devil kids.
I don't know about me, but yeah. But so, did you ever? I heard they're going to make a new Constantine movie with Keanu Reeves. Did you watch the original one?
Yeah, long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah,
so I mean, it's crazy that after all these years, they're going to make a new Constantine with him. Well, did you like that character? Because you was a DC guy.
I liked the comic book character. I didn't the movie was okay. It was a good movie.
Yeah, I
liked it for what it was, but I didn't look at it as the comic book character when it came out.
Yeah, what do you give it on a scale from 1 to 10?
I didn't think it followed it. I give it about an 8.
About an 8?
Yeah, but as far as following the comic books and following the way that character was, because he was an English smartass that smoked and everything, and Keanu Reeves didn't play it that way.
Yeah.
He played it as Keanu Reeves being somebody.
I wasn't familiar with the comic. I mean, I had knowledge of it because of you, but I never had read one. And so I watched it for the first time the other day. I got around to watching Constantine. I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I thought he did a good job, and I think it'd be interesting to revisit that character again. Right. Even though if you didn't like him in the first one, you're probably not going to like him in the sequel.
I didn't say the movie was bad.
Yeah,
I just didn't like the fact
you didn't like
that
the casting.
Well, no, I didn't like the fact that they didn't follow the comics as closely as they should have.
Okay, I got you.
They made it more into I don't know, kind of like a demons and angels, and I don't know.
That's not the way the comic is.
Kinda, but he's more of a magician. He's got powers of his own. He's got strengths of his own. And Keanu Reeves was really weak in this.
Yeah,
I'm just not a Keanu fan.
Anything else?
Yeah, whatever happened to okay? But I know blind bags are still a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hit it really hard when they first came out. I mean, I got Rick and Morty, Harry Potter. I got all kinds of blind bags. I was getting them left and right, and sometimes things I wasn't even interested in. I just liked that kind of surprise of what you're going to get.
Oh, that's what they do.
Yeah, but I got away from it because when I first got into it, they were like $2, $3. Then they got up to $5, and now you're paying up to $10 for a freaking blind bag. Well, some of my favorite was the Doctor Who's, but anyway, does anybody out there still do blind bags? I mean, I don't.
They still make them, yeah. I mean, they had some Cobra Kai keychains, different characters, and little cutesy versions of them, and they were $5 a pop, and at Top Shelf, and I picked up a few of them. But they're still out there, and I mean, if you go to the Comic Cons, you see people selling mystery boxes,
right?
And which is just another version of a blind bag.
I think the mystery box was around before the blind bags. I think
possibly. I mean, but it plays on you. It plays on you. It's like people that scratch off. They pay $5 for a piece of cardboard, and then they take a coin, and they scratch it off, hoping that they'll win. Well, the pleasure they get from that, which it doesn't scratch my itch, but it does for somebody, is the anticipation of when they purchased it and they go out to the car and they take the little coin and they scratch it off, and maybe they got one number and maybe they got two and they need three, and so that anticipation and that hope is what they feed on. And then whenever they scratch it off,
Well, I mean,
if they lose, they lose. They lose in halftime. If they win, they turn it back in to get another one because it's not really the prize they want.
But you're really not getting anything every time. At least with a blind bag, you're getting something every time.
Yeah, I mean it's true. It's true. You know what I did? They had a Universal Monsters blind bags.
Okay.
And they showed you the picture of the ones that you could get.
Right.
And so I looked on the back, and there was only one I wanted, and it was a black and white Wolfman.
Okay.
And so I thought I'm going to buy one of these, just one of them, because I'm not going to buy 10 trying to get the one I want. I'm going to buy one. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I'll give it to one of the grandkids. I opened it up and had that black and white Wolfman.
Is that right?
I was tickled to death. I said, look at that, never happens. I'm one and done. But anyway, my comic book recommendation, we're running out of time. We try to keep these around 15 minutes, is I grew up watching those Shaw Brother Kung Fu movies.
Okay.
And a lot of those are fantastical, almost like superhero movies. And so there's not really too many Kung Fu comics out there. You had Infinite Kung Fu that was out for a few issues, but Crossgen come out in the 90s, and it was a comic book company that really rose in popularity, and then it crashed and went bankrupt. But it had several issues. Pretty much you can't pick up a bad Crossgen comic. The only thing bad about Crossgen is a lot of the comics didn't end; they just ended abruptly.
No, just stop.
And once the company went out, but Way of the Rat is fantastically written. It's a Chuck Dixon and drawn by Jeff Johnson. Oh my gosh. Trying to get over a respiratory virus.
This is usually the time I take the comic book and hold it up. I'm not doing that today.
Yeah. But anyway, so Way of the Rat. If you like Kung Fu movies, check that comic out. You can pick them up for $2 on mycomicshop.com. It lasted for 20-some issues, but they're fantastic reads. Are you done?
I'm done.
All right, I think I'm close to being done.